Talk to me, not to that.
Hi, Big Mac.
I guess I hear people saying hi to all those who are sick. This is in honor of you. Okay, here.
Oh, God.
I don't mind waiting. Okay, who can explain this to me? I asked 2 people to explain it to me yesterday, but in a different way. Yes, sir.
Square A, and then you square B, and then you have a plus or minus sign, so you put the plus or minus sign in between the A squared and the 2AB.
So which one do you put? Because none of our answers had both. They all had either plus or minus. So how do you know which one to put?
I don't know, you just put like a big symbol up there, and that's confusing.
Okay, yeah, and so here's what I'm trying to explain. It's basically putting what I did in 2 lines into one. If it's A plus B, what sign goes here? Plus. If it's A minus B, what sign goes here? Minus. Okay, so that's what we're trying to say. There's a reason I put that up, because I'm going to give you a problem to review, and then I'm going to show you how that applies to what we're doing today. So we'll start off with, which one? Let's go with x squared minus 14x. Oh, sorry. Wow. That is not what I wanted to say. Let's go with x minus 7 squared. Go ahead and multiply that out. Get me the trinomial. And yes, I gave you most of that, so hopefully you won't struggle too badly. But go ahead and do what's x minus 7 squared. And you can use the shortcut, and if you're like, I can't, I still don't get that, Mr. A, just do your FOIL. And either one is going to work. So what you did, according to what Jack said, what we confirmed, you take the first term and you square it. That's x squared. You take the last term and you square that. That's positive 49. And then to get the middle term, you do x times negative 7. Negative 7x, and then you double that. So that's negative 14x. Yeah, just ignore that. Negative 14x. Okay, that's what you got. How many of you got that? Pretty good? Okay. Yes, ma'am? Okay. Now, today, what we're going to be doing is not multiplying 2 binomials or multiplying a binomial squared to get the trinomial. We're going to be working backwards. I'm going to give you this problem, and you're going to have to give me this factoring. Yes, ma'am?
So when you multiply negative 7 and x, then it would be negative 7x, but when you double it, wouldn't it be positive 14x?
I think you're thinking maybe what negative 7 times negative 7 would be, but it's really negative 7 times just 2. Okay, so what's negative 7x just times 2? Negative 14x. Yeah, because I think that's a common thing. Well, negative times a negative is positive, but it's negative times a positive. And that's still negative. Okay, so here's what I want. I gave you another one here. Go ahead and write this down and confirm it with me. Make sure I got it right, because if I didn't get it right, that's not going to be very good. As we go through the process of finding out, can we factor out perfect square trinomials? Okay, so confirm this with me. We good? Or is there Chelsea?
I just have a question. So there's just less than that was kind of confusing.
Okay.
So what do? You're squaring?
You square the first term, you square the last term, and you get that first and the last term. And then to get the middle term, here's the tricky part. You do y times negative 11 times 2. Okay. Oh, the bridge? Yeah, we're not yet. Oops. Spoiler alert. Okay, let's go ahead and do the process that I want us to look at. Okay, so I'm going to imagine that I didn't have this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this trinomial and see if I can factor it. Now, we've looked at 2 ways already of how to factor. Do you guys remember what's the coefficient of the first term?
1.
Okay, so can't you automatically start going to this? What would be those last 2 terms? What 2 numbers multiply to get me 121 that add up to be negative 22? Specifically, negative 11. So negative 11 and negative 11, that works. Which, how do you write that, by the way? In a short way, you just write negative 11 y minus 11 squared. Do you guys get that? That process works. The other way, so you could write this, but you don't have to. But the other way, do you remember, that always works is the bridge method. You would multiply those two together. Okay, you multiply those two together. They get two factors to get me that. Break it down, factor by grouping, blah, blah, blah. All right, a lot to do. But what would they give me? That. Give me that again. Okay, the method we're going to look at today. Yeah, that's because we split it evenly. The third method is going to be a little bit easier if it's a certain type of trinomial. Okay, this is what I now want you to start writing down. I want you to look at the first term, and I want you to tell me, is y squared a perfect square? That means, is there any number or value that times itself is going to get me y squared? Okay, so is that a yes or no answer? Yes. Yep. Y squared can be really square rooted, and that gets me y. That gets me y. I'm going to use that as my basis here to figure out whether it's a perfect square trinomial. Okay, the second question I'm going to ask, is the last term a perfect square? Can something times something give me 121? So the answer is yes, and so we're going to put here 11. Okay, we have one more yes or no question, and it's this. Yes or no? Is the middle term, this is tricky here, y times 11 times negative 2? I know that's a lot. Okay, what's y times 11? 11y. 11y times negative 2 would get me? So that's a yes answer. So you know how I can factor this trinomial? If it's yes, yes, and yes? Like that. We just factored it. And yes, there's a big gap and all that, but that's the answer. Y minus 11 squared. You're like, Mr. A, I like the first way better. It's a lot easier. This way is weird. Well, this one's nice because it has a lead coefficient of 1, but what if it didn't have a lead coefficient of 1? How do you deal with it? Well, let's look at another one. And get some practice with 1. Okay, what's our method when you have a lead coefficient of 1? You can just break it down into two binomials, but let's go through this new method and see if we can get practice with it. All right, first question. Is the first term a perfect square? Yes. I'd put yes. What is the square root of x squared? X. Good. So x times x equals x squared. I'm good. Is the last term a perfect square? Yes, because 12 times 12 equals 144. The last question is this. Is x times 12 times negative 2 going to get me negative 24x? Yes. Okay, let's try it out. What's x times 12? 12x. What's 12x times negative 2? So that's a yes.
How do you know whether it's plus or minus?
Great question. Great question. Look at this term here. It's a negative sign. So what sign should go in here? Negative. If that were a plus sign, what should go in here? And you know how I know it? Because you already explained it. If there's a plus sign there. If there's a negative sign right there. Do you remember that? And it goes back and forth. So that we're using the same logic with that one. Oh! Uh-oh, sorry. Can it apply to this one? I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, it's a Friday. It's before the pep rally. You guys are dressed.
What time does the pep rally start?
2.
What time is it right now?
3.
Not 2. It's getting to 2, Max. Not yet. The intercom beep. All basketball players may leave to go get ready. All basketball players. Okay, whatever the sound is, whoever is speaking, they're going to tell us. That's fine. That's okay. Okay, but we're going to do this. All right. Can we just go into the two binomial method here? No, because what's the coefficient of 20 or of the first term? It's 25. It's not going to work. But I could go with the bridge. Ugh. The bridge method is not impossible, but it could be tough for a lot of us. So let's go.
It's an upside down
Means it's sad.
One step.
Well, at least you're looking at it in a positive way. Okay. Is this a perfect square? Yeah, it is a perfect square. That's a yes. It's 5y if you square rooted it. Is the last term a perfect square? Yes. And that is 3. Square root of 9 is 3. Is the middle term 5y times 3 times positive 2?
Yes.
Yes.
I get it now.
Because of that doubling. Remember, you double the middle term? Okay, so, yes.
Doesn't make any sense.
Hold on. I need to correct you on that. Sorry. Let me just write that down. I've been telling my students that I need to be more on top of this. So if you say it doesn't make sense, that means it doesn't make logical sense. You can't put it together. But really what we mean, and I need to say this more often too, is it doesn't make sense to me. So it's not that it's not logical, it's just it doesn't make, and it's okay. It'll get
It
to,
doesn't make sense to me.
that's fine. That happens.
No, like actually.
Yeah, we're going to keep doing it. Okay. Yes, sir?
So you were saying like -2, like the 30, or not? You know what I mean? And then you said +2.
Mhm.
So is it just depending on the side?
Yeah, if this were negative, you would have tried -2 times these two. If they were positive, you try positive these two. Sorry, positive 2 times those two. So it just depends on that sign. Exactly. Okay. It's always 2 because of, ready? What we said at the beginning. What's that middle term always going to be? Double what A and B multiplied together are, right? And isn't it either 2, positive 2, or negative 2? It's either one, and it depends.
I understand.
Awesome. Try this one out.
Is that 1 T?
Sorry, yeah, I didn't have the 1 before, so it's just t squared, which doesn't affect it in a bad or good way.
Would the bridge math thing work on this?
If it can be factored, it will work on it. Bridge method always works. Always. Our least favorite is the one that always works. Oh, man. First question is what? What do you ask? First question. Good. Is that a perfect square? Yes. And the square root of that would be t. So that means it is a perfect square. Second question, Molly.
Is 100
A perfect
number?
perfect square. And is that a yes or no? Yes. So we're 2 for 2 here. The third question is the most important. Is the middle term t times 10 times -2? No.
So it's prime.
No. Sorry, let me get to what it is. That means this. If you can't say yes to all 3, you can't just do this. That's not going to be it. That's a wrong answer.
Wouldn't it just be prime?
Well, it's time to go back. Do you guys remember? This method didn't work. That's fine. So we try another method. What's the coefficient of t squared? So now, try this out. T and t. 2 factors of 10, of 100 that add to be -10. Go.
10. 9. 9. Wait, 9.
Keep going. Brrr.
Prime is right.
14.
No, prime. Nothing works. Nothing is going to work because it's not factorable. It can't be factored. So what you do is this. Because this yes method is so quick and easy, if you can first identify it as a perfect square trinomial, then you can just come up with the answer, boom, right away. But if it's not, you try it another way and see if that works, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Excuse me. That ZW is leaving a bad taste in my mouth.
Do you multiply by 3?
Always do that. Always do by -2 or +2. So first, what's the first question, Sydney?
Is the second a perfect square?
Yes or no?
No.
Yeah, because z squared is z times z. Laura, second question.
Is 144 W squared a perfect square?
And yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. It's really complicated, but it is 12W. Mandy, the toughest question here. Is negative 24 ZW Z times 12W times negative 2? Yes. So if it's a yes, 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 we got a winner here. What sign should go between Z and 12W? Negative. And again, I'm making it spaced out, but you guys will get more efficient. It's this as your answer. This is a multiplication problem that would get you the original trinomial. Okay. Any questions on that? Yes, sir.
How is it equal, or how is that and that equal 24Z?
Okay, you have to ask this. What's Z times 12W? Give it to me.
12ZW.
Okay, and then what's 12ZW times negative 2? Our magic number is 2. When you're like, where'd that 2? Want to know where the 2 came from? Special number, isn't it? Right? Do you remember doing that on your homework last night?
No.
Did you get them right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember doing, you did A times B, whatever those numbers, like X times 7, and then you multiplied that by 2, or you doubled it? So that's what we're doing, but we're doing it backwards this time because we're going the reverse process. So that's why we have to do this times 2 again, because we want to see, do we get that number? I don't know. Yes or no? Okay. All right, last one here. If you can get this, and you're one of 12 people, then you have helped your class to move on to the last screen. Oh. Oh, man. That took my thunder again. But anyway, your choice. Will I add another screen to this presentation, or will we be done? Yeah, I hope
Well,
not.
you already do. We're on 7, there's 8.
No, but will I add another one?
This is just in a different order. It's like
Mr. If it's not 1, can you still do the square thing?
If it's not.
If the first coefficient.
Yeah, we already did that. 25.
Sorry, Sarah, is it standard form right now? And if you flipped it around, would it still be standard form? Mm-hmm. So you could go either way. That's what's.
I'm saying the other formula we're used to. Like, it's normally the Q.
Oh, yep. As long as it's written in standard form, we're okay. And I would say 12 of you need to get it. Okay. You could, wow, good use of terms. Yes, you could, but what would happen is you'd have, well, let me just write it down. You'd have Q squared plus 18PQ plus 81P squared. And now you have a problem that...
I put the Q squared plus 81P squared because it was in standard form.
Well, this is standard form because you have Q to the second, Q to the first, Q to the 0. So see, and that didn't really change our problem. That's not what I wanted. It just made it different. Okay. The answer. This is a yes. That's 9P. This is a yes. That's Q. This is a yes. Because what's 9P times Q? Just get that. 9PQ times positive 2.
18.
That's a yes. Positive squared. Okay, on your homework, what you need to do. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Raise your hand. Raise your hands. Be proud of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's okay. That's all right. You'll get another chance. Okay, this is what you need to do, guys. Listen, on the homework, it's going to say this. Determine if it's a perfect square trinomial. Is it a yes, yes, yes? If it is, you need to come up with this answer. And for you today, it says, if not, you write not a perfect square. And you're done. You don't have to do the bridge. You don't have to do the other method. You just say yes or no if it is a perfect square trinomial or not. If it is, you got to give me this answer too. Okay, your homework is 16 to 28 even, and that's page 202. All right, Swivel, goodbye, and goodbye to all you sick people. I hope you get better.